What's going on, man?
Oh, just chilling right here.
Chilling?
Just chilling.
Yep.
I hear something.
I hear something too. So it is the beautiful Monday. Welcome back to the week. Yay. I guess. Is it a good week? I don't know. It's a good Monday.
Yeah.
It's something. So what are we up to on this glorious Monday morning, you ask? Well, we got, or afternoon. We have a Honda Pilot 2018 here that we're putting some full cal flax series in. And sometimes now that we're playing with the laser, you kind of overthink things, and it's Monday, so we definitely overthunk today. So check out what we were trying to do. And it's not that we won't go back to it. It's just sometimes the amount of time something takes doesn't really... Yeah, okay, so this is a tweeter pod we built. So it's a stack fab plexi, or sorry, Lex, whatever this clear crap is. Plexiglass, we'll call it that. It's acrylic. Stack fab tweeter mount that was designed to snap in place where the factory tweeter went. Really, as you can see, it's super thin. Super thin. But see, that's the tooth right there. So trying to line up all these was really difficult to glue, and then of course you take it out and the thing snaps in half, and you're like, oh well. So that was a thought. We figured since we got the thing and we got this, yeah, we'll give it a shot, and it didn't work out. Sometimes they don't. So they just, it's just really brittle. So we ordered some 1/4 inch, so we might try that again once we get some 1/4 inch. But for now, we'll just stick with our old faithful way, which is, the tweeter was only a 1/16 of an inch smaller than that, so we'll just do what we normally do and get that in there. But hey, it doesn't hurt to try new things. We got the toys, right?
Of course.
Yeah, just give it a go and see what happens. So this is a Honda, which means that it's never easy. And you ask why. So normally we're going to use one of these cool Access DSP harnesses. This is the one for the Honda. And, we've modded it to our liking and the way we like it. Plugged it in. Didn't work. We're like, what the heck? Totally pinned differently. Same Honda plug. You go check on Metra. There's nothing for this car at all. So if you're doing one of these pilots and you're like, yeah, man, this is cool. I got it. No. You're going to have to repin the whole thing. And it's real easy to see, too, because, the speakers are conveniently all located on one side of the harness, to where it's like driver's... It's cool, too, because it's driver's side, passenger side, and they're broken up that same way. And it's got a subwoofer amplifier in it. But, yeah, so we had to redo all the harness, make it all new. Fire trucks are coming by. But that's how the morning started out there. What adapter size for the Focal Kevlar coax on the rear doors of a 2017 Tacoma so they don't fit and hit the window? Tacoma? What do we just use, the Metra one?
It's a Toyota one.
Yeah, it's a Toyota Metra. Yeah, go to metraonline.com and get their Toyota one. It's a 6.5, right? So
Yeah.
I don't see it up there. Are we out of them?
No, we have to order it. I used the last one.
You didn't tell me.
We already.
Did you already order from Paul? Okay. All right. As long as you're on top of that. Okay. As long as you're on top of it, man. How was your weekend, Fernando?
I was good.
Yeah?
I'm tired.
Well, you're always tired.
Yeah. I was just
You have a good time?
party
Halloween parties?
party like a rock star.
What did you dress up as?
As a nurse.
Dressed up as a male nurse?
Yeah.
Were you wearing all white?
No, actually that was blue.
Oh, you wore scrubs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You went for the really basic nurse costume.
Dude,
So you could have been a doctor. You could have been a doctor. You just chose to be a nurse.
Dude, that was exactly.
My weekend was involved with running.
Oh my god, I can't believe that you run that long.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
It was pretty crazy. Pioneer 5-channel amp is a level and a 5-channel amp is a level and effect knob. Yes, it is the bass knob is an effects knob for that amplifier.
Right.
So if you don't plug it in, you don't get boomy bass.
Right. Yeah.
What would you recommend for a 2014 F-150 for an Android Auto factory upgrade of sorts or something else? I mean, I would check to see what year do we know what year the MTF1 kit fits? Is it that one?
It's a 2010 and off.
Is it? Is it really?
2011 and up.
Oh yeah, so
2011, 19.
pick up the really 2011. So we don't even. Oh wow! All right, so your thumb is literally over the part number. There you go. Pick up the MTF1 kit, and then anything that has Android Auto is going to work the same. If you want to go super simple, pick up the Alpine ILX W650 or any one of the short chassis radios for that F-150.
Yeah.
You know, something that doesn't have a DVD CD player in it is probably going to be your best and easiest thing to install.
Correct.
So like Kenwood makes one. I don't think Pioneer makes the screens.
650, that's what they win.
I mean, that's definitely definitely the most reasonably priced and the best screen.
Yeah.
Sony makes one too
theirs,
that doesn't have depth to it, so that's pretty cool. You guys can check that out. Is there a radio kit for a GX 460? If there is,
Ooh.
I have no idea. Metro Online, Spiral Audio, and Connects 2.
No, we don't.
Connects to the number.
Yeah, we don't have the video yet for the Helix, but we're gonna make one.
You guys gotta slow down on that thing. I mean,
I know,
it's
man.
the mini DSP. It's pretty cool. I mean, but it's like we want to make sure everything it does. We want to know of everything it does before we just go out there and throw a video up and just say, "Hey, it does this." What 3 component sets do you recommend for the front sector of my 4Runner? Tweeter is an A-pillar. I know that the Morel fits super easy, and so does the Flax.
Yeah, this
I would look at those.
this
Yeah. Yep. That.
Yep.
My weekend was 2 weekends long, with one more week to go. Well, you're lucky. That is for sure. Hey, what's your? Oh, hold on. Go away. Oh, I was almost. Hey, what's your take on lining the inside of an enclosure with vibration? Yeah, go for it. I mean, why not? The thin. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's right or wrong. So, and Kicker's been doing it for years. Rockford's used to do it on their loaded boxes. I know a lot of guys like to put that egg crate foam in the bottom of their boxes. Does it do anything? Maybe. It's worth a shot.
Okay, I saw something on Instagram that someone is putting roadkill inside the box.
I don't get that.
It's just like, okay, I never see that.
I don't get that. I mean, so when Nick's box was like 400 pounds.
Oh my God!
And it was packed full of everything under the sun.
Okay, it's not polyfill.
No, he had black hole in it, and then he had clay. He had clay around the corners. Yeah, it was crazy. Is there a radio kit for two? Okay, I already answered that. Sorry. Dean, you ever think you buy a beater and no?
Beater?
No, I'll never buy a beater.
Beetle?
Beater, not a beetle. Can I use outputs of the factory amp into a J Audio Tweak 88? Depends on the factory amplifier, but I mean that's kind of what it's designed for. It's hot. Well, no, that's not.
Oh man!
Because don't you need a fix first? Don't you, so you have the tweak and the fix. So I think you need the fix before the tweak. I'm not a JL dealer, but you need to go. You need to have something. Well, you got to have something that'll handle high level. So I don't know what the high level capability is on a tweak.
Right. Somebody say, how do the Rockford T1 shallow 10 sound? I love. This is my favorite shallow mount. That's it. The T1 shallow is the best.
It's very pricey, so that's why we don't talk about it much. Because that's why we always talk about the Comp RT, because most people that's in their price range.
Oh no, definitely.
But if you got the money, it's definitely worth it. What do you need to hook up a subwoofer in a 2015 Mercedes ML 350? Nothing I see on the internet. I have a sub and a box already. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is find out if it has a factory subwoofer. If it has a factory subwoofer, you need to put a voltmeter on it. Put it to AC, play like a 40 hertz test tone, and see what kind of voltage you're getting out of it, meaning into it. And then, if it's 10 volts and below, most high level to low level adapters will work. Most amplifiers have high level to low level built into it. If it's 10 volts and above, pick up an LC2I. That'll solve that issue. And then, I don't think that's going to have fake engine noise, so you probably don't have anything to worry about there. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, and then just take the car apart, excessively amounts of screws, and hook your thing up.
Yay.
All right, let's keep going here. It's Monday. You guys are asking too many questions. What are we going to do tonight on the show at 6:30 when we, Hello from smoke-filled California. I know, that's terrible, man. I got to give Mark a call and make sure he's doing good. For the rears on my 4Runner, includes a 2 in the tailgate and a subwoofer to all recommended. Yeah, go all Morel. Remember, rear is just rear fill. You don't have to get all crazy on it unless you got like kids that are sitting back there and you're planning on entertaining them. We just had this conversation today with a customer. He's like, I was thinking about doing rear fill, and I was like, that's cool. It's another $450. And he was like, it's not that cool. And I was like, you're driving around without it. We went full active front with a subwoofer. What else do you need? And if you do, what is it going to give you? I'm all for people spending the money if that's what they want, but I was like, do you really need it? So I'm a fan of rear fill in audio. Okay, just throwing that out there because some of you guys are weird. And I feel a car should have some form of rear sound application. However, it doesn't have to be extravagant. Most of the time when we're doing a system, we'll match up whatever's in the front. But if it's not important, we'll downgrade it to just a speaker that's going to go back there and make some noise. That's it. Rock on. How do you like Rockford Fosgate T2 component speakers? They're very loud and they're very in your face. So if you like that sound, buy them. Because that T2 tweeter is the...
It's very bright.
Man. We use that in situations where we need like we need a really loud tweeter, like the guy is into like loud speakers, but we're definitely not going to put those in a car because we just don't have room. Those will do it. They'll keep up with that all day long. Guys going to SEMA, not this year. It just didn't work out. I was thinking about getting T4. Okay, those are nice. That's more musical, that's for sure. What's poppin'? Just hanging. What's y'all's favorite mid-woofer? Don't have one. Gosh, I keep doing that. Why do I? Okay. Can the Pioneers 9705 drive two 10-inch subs on the 5th channel? Yeah, if they're normal size 10-inch subwoofers.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, that normal range, not like they're 12 inches tall and have triple stack magnets. But if you have a normal 10-inch driver, yes, it'll power it.
Correct.
Hola.
Hey, Oscar.
Hi, how you doing?
What's going on? Somebody say. Let's see, hang on.
I'm hanging.
Oh, no, you already answered that.
Y'all like the Crescendo super tweeters? No. Dude, my ears can't take those, man. That's why I like the Morel. If you had to pick Focal or Audio Frog GB speakers, which ones would you pick? So, you're just asking Focal. Focal makes auditors all the way up to Utopias. Compared to one line of frogs, there's a GB. So, if you're saying you're going to get the Focal Access or the GBs, I'm going to get the GBs. If you're saying K2s or GBs, I'm probably going to go with the GBs still just because I like the way they sound, but I can guarantee he's going to pick the Focals.
I'm going to pick the Focal.
So, they're both amazing speakers. It's like, do you want to drive the blue Ferrari or the red Ferrari?
Correct.
Pick one and go.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're still driving a Ferrari. How often do you guys go over to Hooters for a snack? Never. I think I've been there for lunch once. I met Jeff there. Not that
really?
Jeff, but the other Jeff and Erica.
Yeah.
Audio Frog. Very nice, dude. The K2s. See, there you go. It's like,
everybody has their preference.
I have the K2s and hated the harsh tweeter. There you go. See, that's why I said I'd pick the Audio Frog. It's not a harsh tweeter. It's a very precise, bright tweeter that is very unforgiving to music that isn't recorded properly.
Right.
It is very sharp and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. And if you like that sound, which he does,
I like it
all day long. I'm more of a little softer kind of approach to things when it comes to my sound. So yeah, and the Audio Frogs are very, very similar.
Yep.
So, but I'm a Morel guy for life, bro. What's up today? From Arizona. Hey guys. Noob question. Epicenter on 5th channel amp or mono amp or a 4-channel amp? Epicenter on 5-channel amp. You can use an epicenter on a 5-channel amp. You're gonna put it on the 5th input. All an epicenter is a harmonic restoration device. So think of it as like a 1-band EQ for subwoofer. It is not an EQ, but it's a 1-band. So, when you're coming out of your radio, make sure the crossover for the subwoofer is turned up as high as possible and or off. Go into the epicenter, out of the epicenter, into the amplifier channel, such as the 5th channel that's going to be running the subwoofer. Turn the crossover on now with the amplifier. Go out to the subwoofer. Everyone is wonderful. The reason why they don't want that subwoofer, the reason why you don't run the crossover into it is because how the epicenter works. It looks to the higher frequencies to create the lower frequencies. So if you have a crossover turned on, let's say 80 hertz, then the effects of the epicenter are just not going to work. So it needs to be somewhere. I think I'd have to go back and watch the video, but I thought it was like 220 hertz. It's like it starts at that, so that's why it's easier just to turn it off. You like more musical or loud? I like musical. I was listening to jazz today, trying to stay awake, which was kind of funny because that really wasn't the idea.
What's up, Bobby?
Okay, well, this has been a fun day so far. I've managed to waste a lot of the time on the laser while Fernando was diligently working on the car. But he was like, you should do it. So I had encouragement from him to try it. And it was a total fail. Well, it wasn't a total fail. It was not a fail. It was a learning experience. Exactly. And anytime you learn something, it's definitely worth it.
Right.
We learned that sometimes just because you have it, you shouldn't always use it.
Right. But like we said,
we're going to we'll address it later when we get
next time.
Next time. Yeah. Next time, bro. Next time.
All right, Bobby. All right. Yeah, we gotta make one.
Gotta make what? A video? Or what? What do we gotta make?
Keychain.
Oh, keychains. Yeah, so it's funny. We've been toying with the idea because every time we cut out one of these circles, so like I just threw away like 20 circles because of all the I'm like, I had said we should drop logos into each one of those circles and then just give those away as keychains. The only problem is that when you're using the laser, like to cut something out, it takes seconds. So like I can cut out one of those big speaker brackets in like 30 seconds. To add in a logo, it adds like 3 or 4 minutes. So it's like you're sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
Logo. So we're not sure what we're gonna do with that yet. Do you like the tweeter on the Virtus? 0 or negative 20 or negative 2? For that one, I'm pretty sure 0 would be fine. I think we've always left those at 0.
They don't have +3.
Yeah, they have +2 actually.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I would try 0 first. I think you'll be okay with that. Anyways, with that, tonight at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be on Facebook. Yeah. We'll be doing more Q&A because hey, there's always questions and we're here to answer them because why not? Yep. Enjoy the rest of your guys' Monday. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you guys tonight on Facebook. Bye. You're working it, man. There you go. Get in there with both hands. Get in there with just pull it apart. Good day, everyone, and welcome. How's everybody doing today? I thought this was kind of amusing. Fernando and I were just talking about it. So somebody took the time to label each one of these wires and what it was connected to. They spent a lot of time doing this as opposed to just buying the right harness and doing the job that way. Pretty neat. Not really.
I'm sure this was more expensive.
Oh, it was definitely harder, more expensive, very silly. I mean, this doesn't need a smart harness, so I mean, actually, you probably could use a smart harness. It probably takes the 24, because I'm assuming that's what this red wire is running off to. Fun. But they're changing it out to this guy right here. I don't know what's heavier, the box or the radio. What the heck? About Bit? That's a brand? About Bit. I've never even heard of that.
Oh, no, it's not a dual?
No.
Wow.
It's About Bit. I mean, like a Pioneer Singleton radio is only like $69, $59. So this thing's got to be like $20.
No.
Oh, I guarantee it's only $20. It might only be 15.
Multicolor,
15
USB,
bucks.
Bluetooth,
Guarantee it's 15
short
bucks.
chassis. Oh my god, this is the
Maybe $20. It's got an SD card reader. Bet you're not paying the royalties. I know they're not because it just says SD on it. So it doesn't have the actual, it just says SD, so I know they're not paying SD royalties.
It has front aux, Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, it's got the kitchen sink.
MP3
What's up from Jacksonville? A whole bunch of nonsense going on in there, I see. Oh, this doesn't get any more nonsensical. That is for sure.
CA10BT.
$10. $10. But it's a short chassis. Would you guys like to see what it looks like? Why not, right?
That's high res.
Yeah, it's high res. It's definitely high res. So this is all right. So this is funny though because this is what we talk about. We just got done doing the Honda Pilot, full integration, full DSP, flax, sexy beast. Sounded phenomenal when we got done. To putting in this guy here. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just this is how our days usually go, and it's just kind of funny. We always kind of kid. And it's a Saturn. Look at that. Ooh, flip up headlights. Looks like somebody's smiling with their eyes closed. They're going to get their picture taken. Hope it's warm here in Spokane. It's 20 degrees. Ooh, heck no. Got to head over to Spokane Audio. I can tell you right now, it's hot. Yeah, they got some really cool pictures. But yeah, so we got a little bit of cloud cover, which means we might get a little bit of rain. It's only 1 something, so it's still early. It's actually not too bad right now. It was hotter this morning, I think.
It's hot right now.
Is it hot?
You're like...
I was in the air conditioning?
You're in the air conditioning
okay.
For an hour.
So it's probably in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the funny part right here
Yeah?
is they use the male.
Hold on.
They use the male side and the car side.
Right. Well, they don't know.
So...
Come on, most people don't even...
Any short?
Yeah, well, most people don't know the difference between male and female sides. And connections, that is. Well, I hope you all know what a male and female is. Yeah. Beautiful weather. Why is it that on the DSR-1, when you set the volt to 1 volt instead of 4, it gets louder? Should it be the opposite? No, it shouldn't.
1 volt?
Yeah, 1 volt. No. Because I believe that is the input sensitivity on it, not the output to the... Yeah, I think... I understand what you're saying, and yes, it is a tad confusing, but it's not a gain like you're thinking. But no, there's plenty of things about a DSR-1 that are annoying. We just got done doing one, and I was kind of perturbed because of the way you have to save files in it in order for it to remain functional. You know, so when you're done doing your tune, what you immediately want to do is go back to your home page, make a preset, but upload from device. So create a preset from what's on the device, because more than likely, and then upload that one to the device, and then make another copy of that one, because more than likely, if you go back to the original one you were just using, it didn't save any of the actual stuff you tuned it to. So yeah, it's kind of really
What's up,
annoying.
guys? What's going on?
You should always have 2 copies of your tune, and you should put both of them on at separate times to make sure that they both function. Otherwise, you lose your tune.
Every time you do an adjustment, you should make a new tune, like a new...
backup copy?
Yes, backup copy,
yeah.
because it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they tell me it works fine.
Oh, wow. What's up from Israel?
Do you guys do a lot of Phoenix Gold TI power shift amplifiers, and what do you think of them? We do not do a lot of them, mainly because of their size. I think they're amazing. Mm-hmm. There's 2 of them sitting right there. Oh, those are the TI3s. They're really cool. But
A lot of power.
we just don't do
Power
a lot.
shift.
We just don't do a lot with
Phoenix.
Phoenix Gold to begin with. It just, I don't know. It just hasn't. It hasn't made it into the rotation of where it fits. You know, because when you're building systems, you kind of like get stuck in ruts, as it were, or you just build systems that you kind of know the output of, and you go from there.
All right, so
it just hasn't made it in that rotation.
Say, what DSR1 harness is made for 2019 RAM with the 8.4 no premium?
That's this guy right here. So you need the DCH. Let me flip this around so it's the right direction. So you need this guy right here, the DCH3. And then if underneath your front seat you have the ANC module, you need this guy right here, the BCH3, in order to bypass your active noise canceling underneath the driver's front seat. So pick up those 2 modules right there, and you'll be all set. How convenient of us to have those. Mark will be so happy that we got to talk about it.
Come on, man. Okay, this is another one. Favorite truck question. F-150 with an LC7i. There's no chimes. Do I need audio control LGDs to get them back?
Yes, you should have the audio control LGDs anytime you do an F-150 line level input or high level input. So what happens in the F-150 is that because there's no resistance on the amplifier, the high frequencies just go ballistic.
What's up,
and you
Bobby?
get a lot of and if you look at it on RTA, the treble is just through the roof. So you end up having to turn it down, and it's the amplifier just going out of control. The LGD is on there to hopefully give you enough of a load to mellow that out. Now, was it a 2019?
No, this is another one. This is
what was the
RAM?
what was
2019?
No, what was the
For
for?
the F-150, I don't know because if
I
you
didn't
have
give you
the
the years?
premium sound system.
Well, no, they don't have the premium sound system.
They don't.
No, because they're using an LC6i. If they had a premium sound system, they'd be using either
The
an
Amp
AR
Pro.
or an Amp Pro.
But you never
So
know.
I'm assuming that they don't. So, because if you're using an LC7i or
With a premium
6i
sound
with a
system.
premium sound system,
Yes.
you deserve all the headaches that you get.
You're the.
So, but anyways, back to that. If it is the factory 8-inch non-amplified system, which I think you read that it did, then yes, you want the LGDs on there. Now, sometimes the LGD is not enough of a load in order to put the chimes back where they belong, and also you have to cycle through the system. So, I mean, you got to let it go back to sleep. So wait 20 minutes before it does its whole gimmick, because you're just not going to put the load on and it's going to work again. That typically does not happen.
Okay, did you order the USS4 yet?
From
Addison?
Audison,
Yeah.
I put a request in.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it actually gets ordered, because I don't get to order those things. No premium, and used ForScan to set EQ to 0. Perfect. Yeah, so use the LGDs, no premium, and that should get you as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Who?
Joey.
Joey?
Yeah.
Joey. Oh, hey Joey. What's going on, man? How's it hanging? Recommended 6.5 component set running a Pioneer 9605 2000 Sonata.
2009 Sonata.
Yeah, close enough. I saw it. I just skipped over that part. I mean, if you're a Pioneer fan, you got the THD or the Ds and the Zs. That are they're two totally different animals. I mean, the D is very soft, almost Morellish, in its tweeter, and then you have the Z, which is totally the opposite, which is high res, which is like the most high res of high res tweeters on the face of the earth.
High.
It is so bright. It's like, wow. But they're both reasonably priced, and that's kind of the nice thing. So, I mean, if you're a Pioneer fan, check them out for sure. Dean, you've been to your Star Wars land yet? No, I have not, Bobby. We're going this weekend, but I don't know if we're going to get a chance to go to Star Wars land yet. We just finally went to our Toy Story land like this year. It's been out for a year already. I'm not one of those guys
You
that
were
just
behind?
has to run out there and do something right away. So,
You were behind.
yeah. What's up? It's because I have no time. Your show and info are most useful on the net. Thank you so much. Oh no, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys. Oh, thank you again.
Thank you for watching.
So what is today? Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday all day.
Got video coming up tomorrow. Got video coming up tonight. Video is going to drop in like 2 minutes, which is just the rebroadcast of last night's show. Also, we have a Boring Life of Dean and Haley coming out, I think at 2 or 2:30. I started editing the vacation footage from this past summer, so we got that to look forward to. Me going Saturday to my second home, exactly. The Boring Life just dropped. There you go. All right, so our clock here is about 2 minutes off. So both of them, I don't know if they're going at the same time, but yeah, the Boring Life just dropped in at 2. Okay. And I think the other one, the rebroadcast, dropped at 2 too. So last night's show was really good. We did a lot of talking about Amp Pro. A lot of talk about Amp Pro. The evolution of Amp Pro is going to be fun. So like the Ford F-150, where you use the ForeScan to go in, that's technology that a lot of these guys just are now figuring out exists. So I can't wait till that gets put into Amp Pros and ARs. It's going to happen, people. I love the Boring Life. So much fun. You guys are hilarious.
All right.
It's all Haley.
It's all Haley.
Because, her facial expressions are the best.
So I'm splicing the preamp from the factory amp, which end do I put the RCA adapters from the harness or the other end.
Harness or car end. So you want, all right. So the signal end, where the signal is coming from, is going to have the RCAs that go into the amplifier, and then the other end, which is the speaker side, will be the output. So you follow the path of signals. So if you're coming out of the radio and you're interrupting it before the factory amplifier, the RCAs would go there, and they go into your aftermarket, and then you'd unplug the output of the amplifier, and those will go to the output of your amplifier. So it's just like picture taking the factory amplifier out, putting your amplifier in place. Now, if you're going after an amplifier, that signal out of the amplifier is going to have the RCAs that are going to go into, if your amplifier has high level input, go into that amplifier. So you follow the signal.
Yeah.
Any new installer diaries coming soon? Yeah, there should be some this week. We're filming, hopefully today we're going to film something to answer a question you guys have been asking a lot lately, and then back to diaries. The thing is like we've had the opportunity to film some questions that you guys ask a lot of, and so the diaries was always designed to just be a filler, even though it just kind of took over. So we've always, if we can answer a question in the diaries, it makes it really great because it's a big practical application. But if we can, if you guys ask a question, like we've had a question that's been asked almost every week now for like, other than the 3 weeks that we were doing interviews, every week you guys ask a question. So it's like this same question. It's like, all right, well, let's just film the video to answer that question. So that preempts a install diaries. We know you love the install diaries, and they're never going to go away ever, never. It's the number one show we do. But we also realize we need to be able to film something that answers the questions consistently. So that's what we're going to try to have tonight. So if we get to it, which is my plan, then that'll be tomorrow. Otherwise, tomorrow will be an install diaries. Either way.
Yeah. Have you guys had any experience with the DRA Artex sound deadening? No,
never heard of it.
Man. We use Rockhill
podcast. Yes, we know. We've been talking about podcasts. Doesn't that amplifier just look sexy? What's up, man? So, dear Dean, or dear friends, sounds like Casey Kasem.
Okay.
Dear listeners, which are your impressions of the brand Image Dynamic? So, Image Dynamic is owned by, what the hell are they called? They're over there.
Which one?
Those guys, the orange box.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Power base?
Power base. Thank you. You didn't have to. Yeah, you could just hold them. So you know.
I'm just trying. And
but
my
thinking works. Yeah, but
my thinking.
Anyways, so Image Dynamic is owned by Powerbase. One of the things that Powerbase did when they bought Image Dynamic was they left it alone. So the guy that came out with the ID Max, he still makes the ID Max. It's two dudes. It's the guy that made it and his assistant. And all they do is sit there and make ID Max, ID Max, ID Max. Now, they have the speakers that are different, that are just an Image Dynamic line of speakers. Because you got to remember, what makes those guys so special is that they're the company. So they're the Chinese company that makes their speakers. All right? So they make everyone else's speakers too. What they wanted to do, the whole concept behind that company was to send someone that works for the company, the son, over here and form a company called Powerbase, which was a direct consumer from manufacturer. So unlike most Chinese companies where they're build houses that build for like Pioneer and Alpine and Focal and Morel and all these companies that buy Chinese speakers, the build house is saying, we still build stuff for these guys, but we're just going to also have our own consumer line so that we can do stuff we want to do, which is really cool if you think about it. When the Powerbase bought Image Dynamic, they're still making Image Dynamic speakers, but they're making a special brand of Image, meaning because they can build anything they want. So those Image Dynamic speakers are built around being a unique, high-end, what Image Dynamic is. The subwoofers are still made here in the U.S., though, by hand. So those are really cool. Anyways, and if you want to know more about the two companies, go back and watch our interview we did with Jeff Falk. He's the regional sales manager for Powerbase. Correct. And we talked about Powerbase and we talked about Image Dynamic, and it was a good time to be had by all.
Yeah. Good.
Roadkill Ultimate for the win. Oh, you love that Roadkill Ultimate.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
How sick are you of answering OFC questions? I like how you keep your composure every time someone brings up. Well, okay, so what's the guy's name from Marvel? Stan Lee. So Kevin Smith. All right, we're gonna take a little trip here. Kevin Smith, the director, Jay and Silent Bob reboot is going on right now. Even though I'm not a pothead, I like Kevin Smith. I watch his podcasts. I've seen a couple of his movies, but I just like him. I like him because he draws comics. He's a writer, and he's just a cool dude. Anyways, him and Stan Lee were really close towards the end of Stan Lee's life, and I know this because he was telling the story. And one of the things that Stan Lee taught him, which I kind of took to heart, was Stan Lee had 20 stories.
What's up, big boys, toys?
And what he would do is he would just tell those same 20 stories over and over again, because you meet new people all the time. We get tons of new subscribers all the time. And because of that, we have to, we'll tell the Dean and Fernando story. We'll tell the Fernando story. We'll tell the Dean story. We'll have the OFC debate. We'll have what's the best DSP? What are the best... These are questions that are just going to get asked repetitively over and over again. What do you have in your car? When are you going to finish your car? What are you driving? And we know that because there's always new people watching.
Yeah.
So the OFC versus aluminum crap, that is something that's going to be asked over and over again. And if someone's asking the questions, that means they don't know. And our goal in life is to tell everyone about Amp Pro and AR, so to integrate into their factory cars so they don't do it the wrong way and they get the best results possible, because after all, you're trying to set yourself up for the best ending output. That's why we push DSP. DSP allows you to have the best outcome, so you go with that. Copper wire, same thing. It allows you to have the best outcome possible, therefore you want to go with it. So we'll have these conversations, and we'll have them for years and years and years to come. And even though we have videos that talk about them and stuff like that, it's okay. I mean,
exactly.
Teachers shouldn't get frustrated that easy. Not that I consider myself a teacher, but essentially what we're doing is we're teaching you guys what we do day to day for somebody that doesn't do stuff day to day.
What's up, Geo Audio Designs?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think I got that. Hello from Texas.
Yeah.
Texas. Big Sandy Squirrel fan. Woo! SpongeBob. I got my tickets to Reboot Roadshow in Vancouver last week. Yeah. So, Kevin Smith, he does what's called Fat Man Beyond. It's a podcast he does with Mark Bernardin. Favorite show, man. I love watching it. He's not on it right now. Mark Bernardin's just doing it with some friends. Oh, so cool. I was laughing my butt off last night. That's what I was watching when you showed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that show. They talk about nerdy stuff, which I'm a big nerd.
All right.
Kind of a true professional. Great answer. That's why you guys are the best. Well, we try. Thank you.
All right. Will I be better off using the Pack 3.5 crossovers, or could I use the Alpine Universal Power Pack for the dash speakers on the 2007 Ram? I have a DSR-1 and I have a 6.
All right. I get what you're asking. Do capacitors or do the Universal Power Pack? Do the Universal Power Pack. Yes, by all means, do the Universal Power Pack. So the problem that we have a lot of times with the Dodge Ram is you put a 3.5 up in there and you put a 6x9 coaxial in the door. So you got a coaxial in the dash, coaxial in the door, and you have no control between them because they're just on the same channel. So that 3.5 just gets so freaking loud, and it's like, so you have to turn it down. Well, then you lose all your mid bass from your 6x9. So by going with the Power Pack,
yeah,
it is the best thing ever because you can then have a gain control and use the crossover that's in your DSR-1. Life is so much nicer, way nicer. And that's a really good priced amp too. I mean, you can get the Power Pack pretty reasonably, especially now that the new 50 came out. But yeah, the Power Pack is great. You can make it a 2-channel amplifier. You can bridge it from 2 to 4 channel on the Power Pack. Because it uses it's really weird how it does it. So make sure you read the instructions. It's so weird. So we got Finland and Sweden.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, trying to think. Yeah, plus the Power Pack only needs a 12 gauge power wire, so that makes life. And do run the power wire out to the battery.
Definitely.
I know you don't have to. Do yourself a favor and run it out to the battery. It's 12 gauge. It's simple. It's totally worth it. The amplifier will sound way better. It has a voltage sensitive power supply, which is why you can plug it in behind the radio. If you give it more current, you get more out of it. I have an Audi A4 convertible and looking for a slim subwoofer box. Thinking 12-inch kicker, comp RT. Anything else I should consider? Thanks. So 12-inch, that's going to be pretty slim. 10-inch, I think the factory Rockford P3 10-inch is the thinnest box.
Is it thinnest?
But that's a 10. The 12 is pretty thin too, but it's long. It's really long. So, I mean, if you can fit the kicker, definitely do the kicker. You won't be disappointed. Kicker L7T. That's a thin and loud box. Yeah, I like that one.
I would do the
That's too big.
T1.
I know, but that's huge. It's dude, that barely fits behind the truck, the seat of a truck. It's massive.
But it's in Howdy. It's perfect. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you no, but, you know. All right, what do we got here? I'm installing Focal Flax in the front. Would I notice a major drop in sound quality by putting a lower tier Focal auditor coaxial in the rear? That is $1 million question. And the simple answer to that is no, because the rear speakers are an effects channel. They're just there to, when you do this, oh yeah, have something going on back there. You shouldn't
barely hear it.
You should barely hear them. So, you know, when we're putting together a system and they want rear and it's like, yeah, and then you, oh my gosh, you know, those Focal Flax component or coaxials, yeah, they're woohoo. Yeah, we'll just do a step down rear speaker just to have something in the back. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one we get asked a ton. You know, FC and rear fill speakers.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, but no, I mean the auditor's fine. You're gonna cross it over really high, and you're gonna probably I would put a bandpass on it to mellow down that tweeter because you don't need the tweeter coming from it. So if you're going full, you know, if you're doing a DSP on the rear speakers, I'd cross over at 10,000 hertz down so that you don't even hear the tweeter making anything that's going to screw up your nice tweeters in the front. because you really don't want that. That would suck.
Right.
You know, you just need a little bit of mid-range coming from the back.
He said, thank you guys so much. Your video helped me install my Data Mustang kit with the Kenwood DDX 795. Nice, man.
That's that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Gabby says hi.
Hey, Gabby.
It's the wife.
Oh, that's my wife.
It's your life. All right, so that was 5 minutes with 5-star today, guys. Thank you so much. Also, I want to thank all you guys that donated last night to the charity that Haley has going on right now.
Yeah, definitely.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What do you got there?
I have a Kenwood crossover.
That is a Kenwood crossover.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
These aren't just any 3.5s.
No.
This is part of the 3-way Kenwood set.
The component set.
Yeah, so it's a tweeter, mid-range, and then a 6x9. It goes in this cool Dodge Ram. So here you go. Here is the hole that is going to fit in. It goes right there. There's no wires because this one was the base model that didn't have the holes or the speakers from the factory. But the Kenwood mid-range, mid-bass 6x9 one in there, 3.5 tweeter. So we have a full 3-way set, passive. Pretty cool. It's this guy right here. Those. Now, if you have a newer Dodge Ram that has the 6x9s in the back door, buy 2 sets because you're going to want that 6x9 for the back door. You'll obviously have a set of 3.5s that you're not going to use, but still, buy 2 sets. That is the better 6x9 to have for your rear door. You'll get a lot more mid-bass out of it. It'll sound way better. So pick up 2 sets of those. This is the older one that had the 5 1/4 in the door. So we went, of course, with just, as you saw, the Exelon 5 1/4. It's got an A-Trend box with some comp RTs in it. And right now I'm working on the amplifiers. So this is a full Kenwood system going in here. Got a Kenwood radio, dash cam. Last piece of the puzzle is this guy. Is it all high res? I think this might be a full high res system.
Yeah.
Okay. Those going in a Ram. What's up, guys? So how's everybody doing on this Wednesday morning? A little early today because I don't know. Okay, couple things. This is apparently the most hated show we do, and we were just talking about it. The rebroadcast of this
on YouTube
drives people crazy because of this aspect ratio. And I'm with you. I hate this aspect ratio. I would much rather be able to turn my phone like this and have that aspect ratio. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to figure out how to do that. I mean, we've talked about stacking 2 phones on one another
okay, if we do something like that,
it's not like we suffer from a lack of cameras.
No. You have to get rid of all the comments that you guys ask or
so
say hello from here.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of those comments.
Which is kind of no fun because, like, as we're talking and scrolling and answering questions, it kind of adds to the interaction part of it. And that was the one thing that I liked about doing these daily Instagram shows was the ability to interact with you guys and keep things going. What's up with the install bay videos? You guys haven't posted any lately. So last week, and there again, I understand. So last week, the girls were gone at the house, and so I took that opportunity to do something personal. I wanted to challenge myself in running. So last week I ran 4 half marathons while they were gone because I just wanted to see if I could do it. And I did it, and that took up all my free time. So it was kind of a personal thing. You know, we've been going at a pace that has been really heavy for a really long time, and it's you know, sometimes you just need to take a break and reflect and look back on why you do this. And I wanted to do that for me personally, so that meant, you know, I got to take a break from this. So as far as like the live shows, someone calls them the lazy shows. We got a comment the other day that you know, why are you producing so many lazy shows? I mean, I get it. It's because there's not a lot of production value in it. You know, it's just us answering questions, but it's still us interacting with you, the fans and the audience and whatnot. So if that's a lazy show because we took a half hour out of our day to answer a bunch of random questions to help you guys out, well then fine, we're a bunch of lazy, good for nothing people. You know, right now with the rebroadcast that's going up on Mondays, I'm personally not a fan of it, but I'm also a fan of having my Sundays to actually just do my thing.
Family.
So I look at our schedule and it's like a rebroadcast on Monday, a rebroadcast on Tuesday, and then really the shows start today. Today you'll have a product review that we do coming in at 2:30. And then Thursday and Friday will be install diaries.
Thank you for watching.
So, it's like we do the best that we can with the time we have. There's so much more we'd like to do, but what the heck? We've been running at top speed for 6.5 years now.
Yeah.
Putting out content after content after content. Nobody puts out as much stuff as we do, whether it's live or whatever. It's like, give me a break, man. And then one guy was like, I've had enough. I'm gonna unsubscribe. Go for it, man. I don't care. I mean, you don't appreciate what we do? That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here trying to help car audio and help you guys, and it's something we love doing.
Correct.
And you're crying because you're not getting an install diaries or you don't like the aspect ratio. Okay,
It's just like,
so
dude,
go watch somebody else. There's plenty of guys out there. Oh wait, there isn't. So I mean, we're trying to evolve the channel and do things with it and keep the things that you guys like. And also, there has to be some purpose to all of it. Like,
right.
When we do reviews, we're doing reviews because you guys ask questions. I mean, I know we don't do the unboxing as much anymore because you guys don't ask as many questions about that stuff. So it's like, do we spend all our time doing Pioneer unboxings when no one really, it's like everyone's kind of moving on from the Pioneer radios. People want to know about DSPs and they want to know about just things they're having issues with. So we've been trying to address more of those. And that means, we have to do reviews. And sometimes we can do reviews while we're doing installation, and sometimes we can't. So it's like...
And we try, every time we come out on live, we're trying to tell you something that's helpful,
Thanks, John.
So if we don't have nothing to say...
Yeah, and then... So every now and then, I love this. I'll get a question of a guy that it's like, I try to answer as many questions as I can. I mean, that's why we do so much live, is so that I can go in and answer questions that I just don't have time to sit there and type big, long answers to. It's easier for me just to, if I can answer 12 questions on one of these shows, we do it.
Yeah.
We do the 2 live shows where we answer questions for an hour straight. And then I'll get a guy that says, "Oh, you didn't answer my question." And I read that. And I'm like, "Well, okay, fine. You didn't answer my question. Then repeat the question." Because it's like, if I had an opportunity, I'm not going to go back and look for your question because there's 500 questions that have gone. I can't find it. So say I haven't read you haven't answered my question. Type the question again.
And again. And again.
And it's like, if I see it and I can answer it, I will. I try to do as much as I can for you guys. But remember, this is a 6-day a week, 9 to 6:30 job that we do, along with this, and this is the only thing that makes this fun.
Yeah.
So it's like, slow down, killers. All right, so. If I buy amp through a crossover, do I need capacitor in line for the tweeter, or are they in the crossovers? To answer that question, they are in the crossovers. So bi-amping means that you have a passive crossover that has 2 inputs. One input for mid, one input for tweeter, and it has 2 outputs. One output for mid, one output for tweeter. That means that all the corresponding bottoms for the tweeter and tops for the mid-range are in that unit. The only thing you still need to provide is the bottom for the mid-range, meaning the lowest frequency that mid-range is going to play. The bottom for the tweeter is that part of the crossover. The top for the mid-range, meaning the highest it will play, is in that crossover. Yep. So run a 4-channel into it, it's golden. Now, why would you do that as opposed to just going full active? Well, obviously, if you don't have a DSP and you just have a basic 4-channel amplifier, it's a great way to get the ability to add volume control to those speakers. So a lot of the times, like, you'll put a tweeter up on the dash or in the A-pillar, and it gets to your head really fast, and it can be loud and it can be shrilly, and you lose a lot of the mid bass because that's not getting to you as fast. It's a slower driver, and it produces frequencies that may not move. They obviously don't move as fast as tweeter frequencies. So being able to, and I love the love, by the way.
Thank you.
Being able to turn down the tweeters some and let the mid-range play a little louder. So what you do is you'd set your maximum gain for clip on both units, so you know where it's at, and then you turn the tweeter down. Okay, so you don't necessarily, remember, it's gain overlap, so you don't have to put they both don't have to run at the same volume. You just want to know what's the most volume, and then turn down.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's okay to do that.
What do you think about the 8500 NEX?
That's nice radio.
It's
nice radio. I mean, if I own a Pioneer, that's the one I'm owning.
Exactly.
That's it. If I have to buy a Pioneer.
Well, my favorite radio back in the day, that was the
42.
44.
Yeah.
Now the 85 is because it has nav.
It has and that's the thing. If they would take the nav out of it, that would be great. But it's got nav in it, but you get the better screen.
Yeah.
You're buying it for the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're buying an 8500 because it has the best screen. Do I have DSP, so just run active rather than biamp? If yes, okay. So the most critical thing when running active is getting the crossover point for the tweeter. What you need to know in order to do that is the FS of the tweeter. So you should be able to go to the website for the tweeter and figure out what the FS is. If they don't publish it, call them. What's
Definitely,
up, Ada?
you have to find it.
Once you have that FS number, multiply that number by 2. Set your crossover to that point at 24 dB Linkwix Riley, okay? And that there'll be check boxes in your DSP, and then cross your you're biamped. Then cross your mid-range over at the same point at 24 dB Linkwix Riley, okay? And that'll avoid any crossover dips. If you do 12 dB, it's going to be an issue. But multiplying it by 2 should give you plenty of crap room, so you won't have any issues.
Yeah. How do you feel about amplifiers with built-in DSP, or should the DSP be a standalone?
I like it. Honestly, I like them built in.
Yeah.
Because it's one less box and one less opportunity for noise.
Less wiring.
You know, it's like I mean, don't get me wrong. It is totally dependent on the system that we're building. But if I can get something that has an amplifier, DSP all in one, I am game. I love the audio control D series amplifiers. I buy them all. We buy them. We sell them all the time. I'm a big fan of the Forza. That ARC amplifier is cool. Heck, I'm running the Alpine DSP with the 8x25 in my car. So I love DSP'd amplifiers. I think it's great. I think it just, where they can kind of like, is on the output. So most of them just have subwoofer output. Some of them don't. And that's where you really have to pay attention. But the kicker DSP amplifiers, all the Q class, being able to stack them on top of one another, that's wonderful. And by that, I mean you can have multiple amps with DSPs and they all share the same DSP software. It's a phenomenal feature. JL can do that now. It only took them 5 years to catch up to kicker. Just saying. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, one of my favorite amplifiers to sell right now is the Q Class 1005. I mean, that's why you guys see so many pictures of them, because I love doing them. What cap to protect the tweeter going active? So so Mark, Cardio Fabricator, did a really good video on this, because when he put his Focal K2s, he did a great how-to video to figure out what cap you need. I would strongly recommend going and watching Mark's video. It's the easy, that way you understand what it is to do that. That'd be the easiest thing to do. So just check that out if you haven't watched that. If you don't know who Mark is, Cardio Fabricator, I mean, come on, really, who doesn't know that guy? Anyways, I would definitely check out his video on that.
Yeah.
Just in case no one has said, if you guys are appreciated, highly appreciated, thanks for everything. DNF. Oh no, thank you, Johnny. And there again, trust me, the haters are far few in number than you guys that watch every day, comment, question. And we appreciate that. That's the only reason why we keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm at the point now, 6.5 years down the road, that it affects me, but it doesn't. I don't lose as much sleep over it as I used to. I mean, one of the things that Steve Mead and I talked about when we were at Knowledge Fest was that, you know, anytime you're a creative and you put yourself out in front of an audience, you're going to get people, Lima Peru in the house, you're going to get people that don't appreciate what you do or feel like they can do it better, or just because they can, they're going to criticize.
And probably they never tried to do it, but then still...
Who knows? It's just whatever reason in their head they want to be evil or mean or just shut up and turn the other way.
It is what it is.
You know, they got to tell people that, you know, oh, you guys suck. And it still irritates the shit out of him. Most of his, most of his staff actually tries to protect him from that as much as possible because they know how ticked off he gets about it. And that's why you'll see, like, you know, hate the haters and all this other stuff.
Right, yeah.
You know, we realized that that this was going to be something that is just, you're going to get haters, you're going to get people that don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's still irritating, and it's still, it's like, you know, when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're going to bed, and it's like you've just produced a show and you're feeling good about it, and then you wake up in the morning and there's some guy going, "This sucks." You're just like, or a thumbs down, and you're like, really? I mean, do you feel better now that you just? I mean,
ruined my day.
Yeah, I mean, what really? I mean, and there again, I understand a lot of those guys just do it because they know it ruins your day, and it's like they just want to be jerks, and it's like that's cool.
Yeah,
but you know, it takes you time to work past that.
Yeah.
And even knowing it, you still struggle with it, and you know, and it sucks because it's like, you know, you talk about the good comments, you talk about the bad comments. But you dwell on the bad comments, and it's like, why? YouTube is one of the only things out there that allows people to do bad things to good people.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, on Facebook, if somebody tells you suck, you know who they are. They're your friends. You can go, okay, bro, I know where you live. I'm coming to your house. YouTube, it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, dink my name, and you don't know who that guy is. And it's just like...
Yeah, no, it's like,
and if you do, you're going after that guy.
All right, somebody said, hang on, what's the best? Define this.
Exactly.
What's the best interface for adding an amplifier in a 2017 F-150 non-amplified system?
2017 F-150, we're buying the Access T harness, and we are going into any form of DSP we can. So 2017 F-150, if it's a V6, is going to have stop-start. So I'm immediately going to get rid of stop-start because it's like, oh God, why? It's going to kill your battery and your starter. They haven't proven it yet, but I know it will. And then I'm just doing a DSP amplifier in there to keep it simple. I'm running a dual 4-gauge power and ground. I buy the Stinger marine wire. They sell a marine kit that's like 20 feet of power and ground wire. We're buying that because if you mount the amplifier where the factory amplifier would be, which is behind the driver's rear seat like we show in all the pictures, it's about 19 feet to the battery. The only thing I hate about the marine kit is it comes with a... because it's marine, it comes with a circuit breaker. Now, you guys all know how I feel about circuit breakers. Not a big fan, so we immediately would swap that out for a fuse. But to each his own. You know, hey, I get it. But you know what? A lot of the times we've been doing in that car is the Q Class 1005s or the audio controls. The 61200. If you're doing like a 110, 112, or 2 simple 10s, the D61200 from Audio Control is a perfect amplifier to go in there. The nice thing about the D61200 is that you can immediately go out of that into the LC 800 or 1.800, or you can do the combo 5-channel combo of Audio Control, which is the D4.800 and the LC 1.800, and that's your ultimate 5-channel system for that. You get the DSP, you get the tons of power, you get the 800 watts for your subs. Now, the reason why you do the 6-channel opposed to the 4-channel is if you want to go full active for those tweeters. Lots of love today. If you want to go full active on those tweeters, then do the 61200, do the 1.800, and you just tons of power. There again, if you want it to be a more reasonable scaled back system, then the Q Class 1005 is perfect for running. It's 500 watts for subs, 210s, 212s, comp RTs, do some 6x9 components up front, 6.5 coaxials in the rear, rock on all day long. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're one of those guys that's in the 4-scan, okay, there is a way to go into the radio and turn off the factory EQ via 4-scan. There's also a way to turn it into a preamp section like the Sony. The problem is it's ForScan, okay, which means you do it at your own risk.
50-50.
You can buy the scanner on it's like $25 for the scanner. It's free for the software. We don't do it. We thought about doing it, but then horror stories. And ForScan is really something the guy that owns the car should be doing, not necessarily the install shop, because once you take it back to have it serviced, you're going to want to flash it back to factory, have the car serviced, then turn your ForScan stuff back on. Now, the one cool thing about all this is that, just like the Dodge, maybe sometime in the middle of next year, we'll be able to just plug in and get a preamp on that. Maybe. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But right now, it's a clean enough signal out there. The other thing you want to get is the audio control LGDs.
Yes.
Okay? It's a load resistor. It's a Zobel network load resistor that's designed to put a small load onto the factory radio and mellow out the high frequency outputs. Without those, you can get a lot of floor noise and you get the tweeters to go just totally crazy. Mm-hmm. The LGDs will prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind too is most of the time the LGDs put enough load on there to keep your factory chime where it belongs. If it doesn't, what's going to happen is all your chimes are going to revert to a piezo sensor in the dash. It's a hit or miss on that one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The piezo sensor in the dash is where all your backup sensors, door chimes, headlights, and all that crap will come through. It's okay. Most people don't even notice it because they're just, it's like things get lost. Mm-hmm. But you definitely want the LGDs.
Definitely.
The blue ones. They have 3 now. You want the blue ones.
Blue, green,
put them behind the radio at your connection, just like we do in all the videos. Do that, and you'll be fine.
All right, what is a good DSP for the 2019 Denali with Bose system?
So you're going to get an Amp Pro, first off. You're going to get the Amp Pro. So the Amp Pro GM 61 or 51, whatever 61. It's called, 61. So you're going to get the Amp Pro GM 61. Mm-hmm. And that's going to give you 6-channel output. Front, rear, sub, center output, okay? Mm-hmm. Most people don't realize the 6th output on that is a center channel. It also has a Toshlink output. So you can do digital. You need a DSP that has at least 6 channels of input. At least 6 channels of input. The most cost-effective one right now is going to be the Helix Mini. Mm-hmm. And that is there again. It's only front. It's the same 6. It's 4 in, 6 out. Mm-hmm. But you want you don't want that one. What am I thinking? You want 6 in. 6 in. I was thinking 6 out. So forget that. Although the Helix Mini is bad. It's fun.
Well, they
make a bigger one.
Yeah.
The most cost-effective 6 DSP in to do that is going to be the Alpine.
Yeah. I mean, you can choose. Audio Control has one.
No, okay. So the DM608 would work too, and that's probably cheaper than the Alpine. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a toss-up, but you're going to want something that has 6-channel input and however many channel output you need if you want to retain center channel. There again, it just comes down to the mix that you're trying to do.
What are you trying to do? Yeah.
So, putting 212 into 16 RAM, 2500, 2700 watts. Will the speakers you showed earlier get loud enough for 4x25 amp? Do I need to go with Rockford T2s? Really want 3.5 speakers up in the dash? Dude, the T2s are definitely the way to go. 3.5's up in the dash, I totally get.
T2s?
But they don't make a T2 3.5. They make a Punch 3.5. Trying to think. So, Audio Frog makes a 3.5. No, I was thinking Illusion. Illusion makes her 3.5, but it's not necessarily loud.
That does sound really nice.
So it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go for quality of sound, then I would still do the T2 components and put the tweeter in the dash. That tweeter in the dash is going to be stupid loud. They're just crazy loud. Mm-hmm. If we're just going for overall volume, the 6x9 coaxial in the door and the 3.5 tweeter in the dash is going to give you more volume. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to give you imaging and stuff like that because it's just going for volume. Right. In the past, too, I've also used the Neo tweeters. Put the Neo tweeter up in the dash, make a mount. When I needed, because I've put in the door, I put a mid-bass Neo tweeter in the door, and then in the 6x9, and then I put a Neo tweeter up in the dash, so I have 4 Neo tweeters in it to make it really loud. So you could easily do that with the 6.5, a T2 6.5 and tweeter in the door, and then add a set of 3.5s up into the dash. Now, if you do that, The problem you're going to run into is that you need those 3.5s to be on their own channel of amplification. They need to have their own volume control. So a 4-channel amp, if you're doing front and rear, isn't really the best option for putting 3.5s in the dash. Yes, you could put a cap on them and they'll play, but you're going to want volume control for them because you need to control their output so they blend in with the door speakers better so you can actually hear the better speaker. So for that, you're going to want to pick up like a small Alpine brick amp or something with a gain control that you can control those speakers. Or, you know, if you just have the 4-channel, do a set of T2 components, tweeter in the dash, mid-bass in the door, and just rock on from there.
Yes, I'm going to trick-or-treat.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I'm gonna go tomorrow.
He's a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, right? It's like... I mean,
why
would he? You know, I grew up watching Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is still the original Ghostbusters. Is still in my top 5 best movies ever.
Yeah.
I got Corey when we get together. We quote Ghostbuster lines. That's like we totally nerd out.
Believe me, when he watched the first Ghostbusters,
aim for the flat top.
He was like, "Oh wow, yeah."
I tried to think of something that would never harm us. Yeah. Something that kept us warm around the campfire. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Anyways.
Yeah, that's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
All right. And the audio control 1500 work at 1 ohm?
Honestly, I don't know. Does it?
Yes, that's a 1500. It works at 1 ohm.
Okay. If you're if you were building custom pillars, where would you point the mid-range speaker towards to get the best sound? That brings up a funny question. One of the vehicles that we just sat in, they built the most elaborate A-pillars I've ever seen in my life. Like, they were, mind blown. Like, I have never seen a set of... These were probably the most expensive A-pillars that you could ever... they were insane. But the aiming on them totally sucked.
Yeah.
They were aimed way above my head. I'm not an A-pillar expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I also thinking that if I want to hear a speaker, I want it aimed at my face, so that I can get the appropriate crossover point, I can get the appropriate level. It's working in small or high frequencies, which are very narrow when you look at the cone of sound that comes out of them.
Yep.
So if I aim it too high above my head and it's beaming towards the ceiling, it's missing my ears. So I'm going to aim that at my face. Everyone that we've sat in at Knowledge Fest, the speaker has been aimed directly at my face, and they have sounded the best.
All right, I take it back. No, it's not rated at 1 ohm. It's only a 2 ohm.
Thank you. So the Audio Control 1500.1 is a 2 ohm amplifier. Way to go, Fernando.
Hey,
Call back. They said the AP4 won't work on the 2019. Oh, geez, you're right. 2019 is the new plug.
I will, Bobby.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. So the 2019 Chevys GMC's Bose system that's the one that we were talking about at the training with Ken. It's a nightmare. Okay, so there is no Amp Pro for that because it's a whole new system. It's a whole new plug. I forgot 2018, 2019, totally different. What you have to do in that car is power for power. There is no summing capability. So you're going to need a big DSP. You're going to need something with 12 channels of input. My gosh, I totally forgot about that. So that's going to put you into like a big Helix, a big Audison, something that's going to have like 10 channels of input. Because you have to bring, and then you're going to need tons of output. Do not, for the love of God, sum anything in that car. Tweeters, they get their own amp. Mid-range, they get their own amp. Everything needs to be on its own channel. They have some of the craziest EQ, all-pass filters, and shit going on in that car that just like, nope.
Yeah.
Don't even try to fix it.
Yeah.
Just make it louder. Get something with a DSP so that you can tweak the settings so that you can... Don't do time alignment. Whatever you do, do not touch... It's already done. The factory did a really good job on time alignment.
It.
Just a little bit of EQ, a little bit of salt and pepper onto those speakers just to change from the crappy Bose speakers to yours. Play it at several different levels while you're tuning it because all pass filters and the filters that they use our volume, it's like a loudness feature. So
Just don't time limit.
just be, and if it, and I would strongly recommend going with some form of external control center and using a volume control from something other than the main volume if you're trying to get the best quality sound possible. Because it's because of the loudness control and how it works. As you turn it up and down, it's going to change your EQ settings, and that's kind of a sucky problem to have. If you leave the volume fixed and then you go into like the controller and you have the volume knob there, sure, you lose your steering wheel controls, but it'll sound a lot better. JL VXI, yeah, because the VXI has 8 in, 8 out. So you could do that, but keep in mind each channel has to be amplified. So you got 4 up front, center, because you got to keep your center. I mean, it's there, you're gonna want to keep it. So that's 5. Rear fill, so then that's you got 4 more back there. So basic math, that's over a VXI. You're already so now you're gonna need 2 VXIs. So honestly, for that one, I would strongly recommend trying to find something external.
All right. So he said he called Pack and the
they did.
AP4.
Well, that's why I saw that. And that's why I knew that it didn't work, because it's a new plug.
All right. So he said I have a 2016 Maxima factory not radio. What do I need to upgrade the sound system?
Maxima?
Yes.
Nissan?
Nissan Maxima. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that one's not hard.
No.
I mean, if it's got the factory system in it, that should be.
It's a 2016. You can change the radio if you want to.
Variable voltage. You can put it in radio, and if you want to keep the factory radio, you can go before the amplifier.
But,
you can go after the amplifier.
It's a 2016.
Yeah.
You know,
it's got variable voltage.
Right.
So I mean.
No, but I'm talking about.
Do anything you want. Go to town.
Yeah.
You can do
whatever you want, man. Yeah.
I have a 2014 Ram 1500. What subs and amps can I get so I can feel it in my chest under the seat? So for the Ram, the loudest Ram box that we've done is going to be the Fox Acoustics box. So they make a 210 and they make a 212.
Yeah.
I recommend the 210. Okay, you can put 2 regular 10s in there, and you're going to keep your tonal quality, and it's going to be very loud. The 12s.
It sounds good.
It doesn't sound as good as the 10s, though.
I love the 10s.
I would get the Fox Acoustics. You can get it at foxacoustics.com. I would get the Fox Acoustics 210s ported box that goes underneath the back seat. It is going to come with risers to lift the seat up off the floor. I believe we had one on the show last week or the week before last. So if you go back into the 5 Minutes with 5-Star playlist on YouTube, we actually show one in a Dodge Ram on one of the days we do. Right. So if you skim through it, you'll be able to see what the box looks like in the car.
And that was 212.
That was 212 because they didn't ask us.
That was a full kicker system. If you go on Instagram, that was a full kicker system. Did you
put pictures of it?
I put it on.
All right, so if you follow Nando13 on Instagram.
You can see the box in there.
I have the Fox box 10-inch.
There you go.
Okay, and that's not enough for you? Bigger subs, maybe? I mean, that's pretty. That's the one we go to. Sundown 10-inch. There you go. I mean, that should be killing it. Are you guys running Kenwood head unit in your vehicles? I have the 9906 in mine. He still has the factory radio in his. If we get time, what's going in his? The GS9. The GS9 from Sony. There's going to be a full high res going in that.
Yeah.
Full active Focal Flax 2A's PDX V9 or audio control. Oh, I'm going.
That is neat.
All right. Well, they're two. One's a 5-channel amp and one is not. So the way the PDX V9 works for active is it has a bandpass switch, and when you flick the bandpass switch, it automatically crosses the top of the mid-range over on whatever the bottom of the tweeter is. So from that perspective, it's pretty cool. If you need that, we just did one last week. What did we put that in? Or the week before? We just did a PDX V9 active on something. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. No, that wasn't active.
Oh no, that was not active.
No, we did an active one a couple weeks ago. Yeah. The only problem with it is you have to, so those are analog crossover points. So if you don't have a crossover calibrator, it's a CCA1 from Steve Mead, it's really hard to get it to the crossover points that you're looking at. You're going to have to guess. And that's where using those amplifiers to go full active totally sucks. Personally, I would get the D 4.800. It's worth the extra money. You can go active. You type in the numbers you want for crossover points, and you're golden.
Yep, definitely.
Fernando, why Focal over Audio Frog, Morale speakers, and many more I feel are better? There again, it's sound.
Yeah, it's the type of sound that I listen a lot of Spanish music, so I like that hard tweeter. The like really bright tweeter comes from the dash, so that's how,
it's just how it is. Just like my old ears like the Morels.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We love the way the Audio Frog sounded.
Yes.
I wish I had vehicles that I could just put all the stuff I love in. Like, I'd love to have a car that had an Audio Frog, that had Hertz. I'd even build a Focal car just because I love the way K2s sound. On certain days, I'd love to get in a car and blast some K2s because it's like there, with the right kind of music and that feeling. Ooh, man, trust me, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
And listen to some Hertz. I'd love to put like a Voce 5.1 on some Voce Audison speakers in a car, just like drive out. I mean, we torture ourselves daily when we build these cars and we put these speakers in them. We're just sitting there
we have the opportunity to listen different type of systems. Like in Bill's car, he had the Morels. I don't know what.
Anyways.
Yeah, and it's just like I like him.
Elates. Yes,
I like
elates.
him. It sounds really nice. But for me, it's like I want it bright.
Okay, if you have a CC1, then go ahead and stick with the PDX V9, but definitely use your CC1.
Yeah.
Although so if you need the 5 channels, stick with the PDX V9. If you don't need the 5 channels, I would get the LC 4.800. Not gonna lie, I would get the LC 4.800 if I didn't need that sub channel. My favorite 5-channel amplifier is the LC 1.800 with either the D or the LC 8 or 4.800. Those two amps together to me are like the best 5-channel amp, even though they're not. But that's the best 5-channel amp combination that I like to do. So it's like if I have the budget, I'm doing that because it's going to get me 800 watts for subs, which is freaking, I can do any sub I want. And it's like 120 watts by 4 for the mids and highs. And if I'm running K2s, which are 2 ohm, then we're having all kinds of fun with that.
Woo.
So,
like
if you're handing me a set of K2s, I'm immediately putting this, I'm doing an audio control amplifier on it because I want that 2 ohm power all day long.
Definitely.
As far as Disney Plus goes, I have an Apple, Apple TV, so I'll be streaming it on that. I don't have a Roku. I have
a Roku in the TV.
Yes, the TV has Roku in it. I have an Amazon Fire Stick. I have Apple TV. I use the Apple TV. I still have the brand new Apple TV. Do you have the new
Apple TV connected?
No, it's still sitting next to the old Apple TV, not even connected yet.
The 4th generation Apple TV is still in the bags from last year.
No, it's not in the box, but it's sitting. It's literally they're sitting next to one another. It's just not hooked up because I never get a chance to watch TV. I mean, even last week after running all week, I'm like, I'm gonna watch a couple movies. Yeah. I sat down to try to watch a couple movies, and I was out like a light. One night I sat down and I pulled out the laptop and I started looking at the Helix software.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the Helix software, going over that, getting it all in my head, digesting, trying to figure out where all the things are that we needed. And I literally fell asleep. It was like, but I just ran, 13 and a half miles-ish, so I was like, I hope you guys are feeling positive vibes only, nothing but the plus side around here, nothing but joy for the rest of the day. Every morning I get up and I'm a half empty kind of guy. I know that seems odd because I've always, but I'm a half empty kind of guy. So for me, I try to tell myself today's the day, today's the positive, today's going to go exactly the way I want it. And then immediately it doesn't. And it's just like,
right.
I feel let down and I move on. And, and then I just look forward for the end of the day when I get to go do some running. And, that preps me for the night. So every night when I leave here, I try to go running. So I try to run almost every night. And that, 6 miles or 5 miles or 3 miles, I really don't care what it is. If I only have the opportunity to run 1 mile, I'm going to run 1 mile. I don't care because it's just getting out there and helping your brain. everyone needs that. Some people have I was talking to Marty, Aussie Irons, Dean,
Yeah.
the other day, and he's like, I got a 40-minute ride home. That's what clears his mind, and that's what gets him ready to face whatever is the rest of the day. So for me, it's getting home, it's dressing, it's putting on my Ironman running lights so people don't run me over, and my Aftershock airs. Ooh, they have new ones, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that are even better supposedly. So now I got to buy new headphones. And I just go.
Yeah.
And I, and it's a struggle. And for those of you that don't run, I'll tell you right now, the worst part about running is being like a mile or two out from your house and realizing that you got to take crap. And then you can't stop running because you have to take crap. So you have to like pinch and run at the same time. And it's like, you've been driving and you're like, oh my God, go faster. When you're the speedometer and you're the one controlling the speed and you're going, oh, try running.
But you're running, you're controlling the speed, man.
Yeah, and you're going, oh, pinch and run, pinch. Oh God, it's the worst. That is the one thing about running that totally hate, because the whole time you're thinking, I'm gonna get a ticket for exposing myself because I got a dump right here. That was dump talk with 5-star. So.
All right, I forgot to mention I have a DSR-1. Go with the flags. Okay.
I love this. Best volume knob and car audio belongs to the GS9. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's like when you put more effort into the volume knob than you do with the display, then you got a product there, because they don't even give a crap about the display.
No, but
you know what? I can't wait to get those. I can't wait to get those from John. I ordered 2 of the Bluetooth Clayton or Moscone Bluetooth pieces. I cannot wait to review these guys for you guys, and I'm sure they're stupid funny.
You can stream high.
You could stream high res over Bluetooth. I don't know how Moscone's doing it, but
insane.
Whoa.
It sounds
amazing. Sick. I got 2 of them coming, one for each one of us. And I cannot wait to get this product and play with it and show you guys what it can do, because it is going to just I'm excited.
Okay, so he say I hear you never wrong when that happens. When you gotta get in taking crap.
Well, you don't have to when you start. It's just at some point.
I'm guessing you walking fast.
Yeah, I mean, hey, every now and then you just gotta throw away a pair of underwear. I'm just saying. Have you guys no electricity for 6 days now? Oh,
that's crazy, man.
Time to hit the line. Oh, so you must be in California, I bet you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
God, that sucks.
Well, hope everything is fine, man.
No, that's right. Up in Tennessee,
there was another one.
No, they had this weird. I was reading Ray West. They had this rear. It wasn't like a tornado. It was almost like a hurricane. It wasn't spinning. It was some kind of weird wind that just literally just comes through at 75 miles an hour and just like cleared a path and took everything out. Wow. So he's been without power for days too. So it was nuts. I mean, we know when our stuff is getting to coming, because hurricanes just sit out there forever. And it's like, buy water. But they got hit by some crazy wind shear that just like took out tons of powers.
Yeah.
Always heard never run when...
Yeah, that's what I said.
Or socks. I've come back with no socks on. Those were when I was using cheap socks. Now I run because the socks are $15 a pair. It seems like the more you get into...
You gotta use it.
No, man, screw that. Those are $15 socks.
What are you walking?
Yeah.
Like a cowboy?
No, it's just pinch and run, man. Pinch and run.
Oh, my God.
Geoengineering. Exactly. Ooh, government. We're gonna get people knocking on the door now. I'm missing full install. YouTube. Upload. Also, thank you. Fantastic 911 projects. At least install diaries. Do some, dear friends. So don't worry. Like I said, Thursday and Friday, install diaries will be back.
Everything is gonna be.
It's just been, honestly, if you look at it, since Dallas, things have just been really hectic. Mm-hmm. They were hectic going into Dallas because of the whole awards thing, and I look at like July just kind of screwed us up big time, and we have never recovered from July. And here it is October, and we're still trying to get our rhythm back into the whole thing. So you went from July into vacation, into summer, and then August was just weird. I had the trip to Kicker, and now we're September. September kind of started to make sense, and I feel October is getting back into everything. So
No, but I think what he meant to say that he missed some of the shows that we already upload. So
there's lots of them there.
It's a lot.
Been in the low 30s here in SoCal. I can tell you it's 90 here.
It's really hot.
It's 90.
It's
So, does Paul do Black Friday sales? So for the past couple of years, we've been trying to do like Black Friday sales. We're trying to do 12 days of Christmas, and it's something that we've been pushing more so than him. This year, we're actually, it's funny. We were just talking about it. Fernando and I were just talking about it yesterday. And normally we do the 12 days of Christmas, and I get on and I do all the funny voices and
silly stuff,
and do like a cartoon version of myself.
Right.
And this year we're just not going to bother with it because it
doesn't do well.
It doesn't do anything for us per se, and he doesn't get behind it as much as we want him to. So it's not worth it for me to
if
he
come out with a good sales. I mean, probably.
For him, I think every day is Black Friday when it comes to selling stuff. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's cold as hell in New York City.
Yeah.
Y'all just need to do this and push the cold weather down
this
here
way,
because we got 1 or 2 days of it a couple weeks back, and it was
it's not even cold, man. It was
cool. It was like 70, low 70s in the morning with a breeze. It was
exactly,
so
but then in the
nice.
afternoon came to the 80s.
Now keep in mind, don't get me wrong, not complaining.
No, not at all.
This is not a complaint because in another month when you guys have that white crap falling from the sky, we don't ever see that. The only white stuff we see, is the salt, and maybe somebody next door is doing some cocaine. I don't know, but we don't ever get to see that kind of thing. And you guys are in like negative 13, and we're like a brisk 45, maybe 50 if we're lucky.
Oh no!
And we're freezing just as. But the funny thing is the scale doesn't matter. So if you guys are at 0 and we're at 30. 32, anything between 32 and 50 for a Floridian, it might as well be 0 because we can't take it. We don't know how to dress for that. We're no good at it. It sucks. So
it's a lot,
we'll be like, in our hoodies.
Pretty much. That's right.
Cocaine from Colombia. We're in the middle of a snowstorm right now in Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow.
Damn! Haley wants to go. Haley wants to go again. She goes, I want to go see snowy mountains, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go see snowy mountains. Make Dean and Fernando a love story from day one till now. How do you know each other? Okay, that we get asked that question a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a love story, and I don't want to dig into that right now because it takes a minute or two.
Yeah.
So we'll save that one for another day for sure. We've talked about it before, but ask that one tomorrow. Try to get it early, and maybe we'll go over the whole meetup again.
Tomorrow
as I said, you got Stan Lee, 20 stories, baby. And you got to have your 20 stories.
Mañana te aviso, Jose.
Don't let it snow by you guys. It'll never snow by us, dude. Trust me. If Florida gets snow where we're at, the rest of the world is dead.
You can call Paul, man. If you actually want to bring the GMC, you can call Paul.
Set an appointment and bring my GMC. LOL. Yeah. There you go. Whatever it takes. It's a long drive.
It's a long drive. People do it.
Yeah, Iowa. Iowa's the farthest anyone's ever come. All right. Well, listen. You guys have been great today. It's early. We wanted to clear our chest. Thanks for all the hearts. Thanks for all the love. If you're watching this on Sunday, hey, we love different aspect ratios, but we can't have them.
I like the last one. Fernando stopped by at the store and never left.
You're not wrong there. Let me tell you what. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, man, can you fix the steering wheel control for me? I'm not leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
can I stay over here?
Yeah. I'm in Florida. Call and make an appointment. 727-216-6170. Awesome.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, guys. You have a wonderful day. Get back to work.
I got to get back to work.
I got to get back to work, too. I got to finish that amp. All right, guys. See ya. From the aspect that you know and hate, or should I say the aspect ratio that you know and hate, it's the Instagram live show with Fernando. There
you are.
Brought to you by the fine folks at Smash Force Media.
Force Media, look at you.
Yeah, I know, right?
There you go.
So what's going on there?
Not much.
Yeah?
I'm watching myself.
Yeah, I see that. It's
Yeah.
quite weird. So, Friday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, it just dropped. I think our video just dropped. The last
really?
one for the week. Yeah, that has promised. The 2 install diaries came out. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. Ooh, wow. Okay. Today was interesting.
Why?
Well, you know, I knew today was going to be a failure when I went to the bank this morning and she asked me at 9 o'clock this morning, "How was your day?" I'm like, it's literally 9 o'clock in the morning. I got up and I came here and I mean, I'm at the bank. I'm giving you money. Ugh,
Juan.
day's gonna suck from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did this today, so that's cool. Look at that. Fernando punched me in the face.
Man, yeah. Sometimes it's you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why don't you pick up? Should I put the phone? Like, I mean, yeah.
Why?
Okay, I don't know.
No, it's fine.
Yes, very often talk to my phone. You know, when I'm lonely, and I need a friend. It's
You got
always
plenty
good.
of friends over here.
Yeah.
So
Tomorrow we have the show.
tomorrow, 6
Ooh.
o'clock.
So podcast dropped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
so,
where's Bobby?
Yeah, I know. Where's Bobby going? Where's the
He's
podcast? Where's the podcast drop? So Patreon's got a video podcast, and the regular folks got a podcast as well. So everyone got a podcast.
Yeah.
Pop that like a cheap tweeter. Ooh, dang, that's funny. Hey, speaking of cheap tweeters, did you catch out the D'Amore video on his tweeter problem that he ran into?
No, not yet.
So-
no, I saw it. I haven't watched it
There's a
yet.
part 1 and part 2,
Yeah.
so you can watch it now and you're not left hanging.
Yeah.
He used a prototype IMG or whatever the heck it's called. I'm
Yeah.
totally killing it there. It's 4 acronyms. Anyways, the tone generator thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty cool how he used it to troubleshoot what was wrong with his tweeter. And I won't give away the ending. But for those of you that didn't know, D'Amore, the guy that makes the DD1 along with Steve Mead, he has his own channel. It's full of education and fun stuff like that. But he just, in the little blue car, the little Volkswagen, he had a tweeter issue.
Yeah.
Question: Pack amp fader knob or Pack amp fader knob or JL audio bass knob. Pick one. Ooh. Pack amp fader knob. So I'm guessing like the LCQ one, or
No.
or the JL audio bass knob. I like that JL audio bass knob.
That is pretty cool because
It's got that little 6-inch phone cable hanging off of it. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's probably more money.
You have the jail, yeah.
I like that though, because that's one of the things they do that I kind of like digging.
Yes.
All right, hang on. I gotta switch.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're gonna relinquish your.
I'm gonna share my
You're gonna share your
holder.
Question: Pack. Okay, got that. If running three-way components with the passive crossover, where do I set my amp crossover? All right. Because this never gets old. Three-way passive crossover. It has bottom for the tweeter, top for the mid, bottom for the mid, top for the mid bass. Your amplifier then is going to provide a bottom for the mid bass. 80 hertz. Go like 80 hertz. If you have 24 dB, that would be great. If not, 80 hertz, 12 dB is a great place to start. If it is only 12 dB, you're probably going to want to stay at 80 hertz. If you have access to 24, you may be able to bring it down to 70. It just really depends on the 6.5, but 80 should do the trick. Yeah, perfect. Howdy, Dean and Fernando. What's y'all's thoughts on Pro Audio? I'm running 2 Crescendo PA8s in the doors. Would y'all recommend if it's very bass-heavy vehicle? So, flat out, not a fan of loudspeakers. Personally, I could never do them in my car. You'll never see them in my car. However, when I go to the bass shows, like Slamfest, I was just there. I'm not going to lie, I'm the first guy that's speed walking back to see these goofballs. And I mean that with love. To stand there behind them with my eyes squinted like this as I'm just getting blasted with sound, and it feels like my flesh is going to peel off like Wolverine in a nuclear blast. In my ears, I'm the first guy standing there going, oh, this sounds terrible. Do it some more. So, but for me personally, not my thing. But yeah, is that good? I don't know. All right, that works. You got one?
Actually, Sounds Plus, Marty Dean say, hey, how awesome is Florida right now?
Okay,
It's
so
actually-
since this is a phone, we can walk out here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sounds Plus, for all you guys interested in Aussie irons, someone asked the other day, or if you follow Fernando, Nando13, here is the Aussie iron, and we put it in the Glow Forge yesterday or the day before, and we put the cool 5-star logo on it. But that is the Sounds Plus. Marty Dean, you get them at Aussie Iron
US.
US
US.
or
No, Aussie Irons US.
yeah, okay, .com as he turns away. Okay, so look at that. Look at that bright ball of fire in the sky. Today is kind of the first day it has mellowed out a little bit, but as you can see, nothing but blue skies. I think it's, 70?
Like 70
76?
something, yeah.
76?
It's in the 70s.
Yeah, so today's
That's in
76-ish.
Peru.
Yesterday was 89, 90.
Oh my God, it was hot.
So with, obviously 100 million % humidity, so running yesterday was sucked. But yeah, but no, the weather's nice. This is really, we'll probably we're supposed to have this all weekend, which is going to be great because Disney's this weekend. You guys should do a comparison of what a door sounds like, deadened versus not.
Yeah, I mean, we
Do a
can do that,
frequency
but how
sweep.
you guys gonna know?
Yeah.
It's not like you guys actually notice the sound
I mean,
changing.
So that's one of those things we kind of have to do and see if we can find things in the door
Right.
that we could record.
Right.
Like today's
you
video, on today's video, there's a Mazda, and we play the speaker,
Okay.
and you can hear how badly blown the speaker is.
Uh-huh.
So if we can get something that you can pick up with the mic, then that would be worth doing. We'll experiment with that a little bit, and we'll have to try and see if we can get something with the mic.
Right.
And I know, Anthony, they were banging on the sides of the car. Junior was smacking the sides of that CRV that they're building, and it was like tank, 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 and then pop, pop, pop. So that was pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah, what's up, Jersey in the house?
Jersey's in the house.
Hey guys, oh you did Peru.
Peru,
Mexico.
Mexico's in the house.
Bobby.
Hey,
Did
Bobby.
you see what happened today, Bobby? I noticed Did you see what happened? There's a podcast today. There's a podcast just for you.
Yeah.
Just for you, Bobby.
18 degrees. Wow,
Whoa.
man, it's crazy.
18. I've seen pictures of snow. There was somebody put up a picture of I think the guy from that does
What?
Zapco and the other company.
Yeah.
I think he put a picture of his daughter playing in snow. Yeah, Ben
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, I think, put up a picture of his daughter playing in snow.
Yeah, with the like a Halloween
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so
I was
cool.
like-
that was neat.
I don't even think when I was in Michigan I ever had it snow, and no, never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been cold. Thoughts on the Exelon X 901.5? Looking for a good 5-channel amplifier. Thanks in advance. Love the amplifier. 901.5 is the update to 900.5, along with adding in a whole new topography for high-res audio. I mean, totally rebuilt. The one is not the only difference. They also went ahead and added in the bass knob. The one goofy thing about it is the bass knob is on the other side of the amplifier, which is kind of strange, but at least you get a bass knob. And the bass knob is very JL-ish bass
Style.
knob. Very JL style bass knob. So it's really nice, really cool. The amplifier, definite improvement over last year. Not that last year sucked. Last year was actually really nice. Got a lot of power. It's a nice amplifier. Definitely recommend it. We just did one this week.
Yeah. All right. So it's AussieIrons.us.
See, I told you it was something like that. .us.
Right there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you should tell Marty to put a 5-star logo on it.
I did. I put like.
I put it on there. Just saw the video from the Mazda 6.
Wow.
Well, there's a scene in that where we couldn't figure out what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 3 or a 6 or whatever because
Yeah.
there's no decals on the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny. There you go, Aussie Iron. Yeah, okay. So one thing you guys should know about the video, it's 18 degrees in Cali.
That's
Ooh,
crazy.
God, that's awesome. So when we film videos like Install Diaries, there's 2 times that happens.
What's up, Mel?
One is when there's a specific thing we're trying to film, like an assignment or something you guys have asked about, and we're going to go ahead and just film that. It's an opportunity, and those typically get moved to the front of the pack. And then usually at the beginning of the year, we film for about 2 to 3 months straight. And those all just go into a queue. So when we don't have anything going on as far as assignments go, we can just draw from those. So one of the things you'll notice is that my face is a different shape and size in the current releases because we're still banging through those videos. So there's a lot of content there that is just finally...
How do you gain weight in 2 days and
then
you lose
yeah.
it
So
in the next
last
day?
night, big face. Today, so that's why that happens. And of course, I have a scar, or I have just a cut, not a scar. Hopefully, I don't want to ruin the beautiful.
It's definitely a scar.
It's not gonna be a scar.
Scar.
Dude, it's freezing. I'm in South Carolina and below 50 here. Yuck. Is it better to make custom speaker rings or trim the door back for the door card? So, it says, is it better to make custom speaker rings or trim the door back of the door card? Now, sometimes you actually have to do both. So, like, you have a speaker that needs to stick out of the door pretty far, and the door card or door panel has an edge that's designed to go around the speaker, and now it's too small for the new speaker. So what we'll do a lot of the times is when he's test fitting them back on, if we have to, we'll take a razor and we'll remove that because we're putting a fast ring on. But we're always going to make whatever adapters are necessary to put the speaker on.
Oh, yeah.
Speaker in, I should say. 62nd in the desert, got 7 inches of snow yesterday. Holy, and this is why, Marty, I'm not coming up there.
No.
Ever. No. Maybe in the summer, but
Maybe
gosh. Forget that. Y'all see the Def Bounce 37K amp? It's mega big board. Wow, 30. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, how are you going to power that? That's all I got to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, lithium for days? I got a Mazda 6 as well. That's what I'm running, PA and a 1-inch, so to be 215. Oh, wow. Okay, that's going to be loud. Question about the Morel 603 Virtus. Is it usual for the speakers to sound stiff running them off Morel M 4-channel and a JL 600.4? All right, run them off Morel M 4-channel and JL. I mean, stiff? I don't know what you mean by. I mean, no, they shouldn't sound stiff. I mean, how long have you had them? I mean, there is a break-in period. We've always run them off of if we have the Morel 4-channel amp, we've always bridged it, and like if we're running it through the passive crossovers, we'll bridge it and we'll run the whole 4-channel amp to left and right. So to get it to 100, that 200 watts.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
So I don't know. I mean, power is key with that. But I've never had them sound stiff. Some people, like I said, the tweeter isn't overly bright, so some people get kind of bummed out because they want a super sharp tweeter, and that is never going to do that. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to know more. Yeah. Okay. Snow. Let's see. All right, here we go. What would you guys prefer, off-axis door panel speakers or custom kick panels? Custom kicks, like speakers in the
like
kick.
This.
Well, yeah, but if we're doing so, do we put them down low in the door like Soundman, where he's got those tweeters aimed up like he just finished in his Acura, or I like my tweeter up high and the sail panel facing me. I guess if it's down low and the kick facing me, it's going to give me the same effect. So I would probably have to go with kick, but I mean, if I have a mid bass, the mid bass isn't so directional. So when it comes to the mid bass, it's mid bass, so it's going to be twos and lows frequencies, so they're not as directional. So I don't need to worry about those. But I'm thinking I want to put my tweeter up high in the sail. I think I'd put it up in the sail before I'd put it in the floor. I get why you do it in the floor, but I just know how abusive and where my foot is always going to go. I don't want to put a tweeter down there.
Okay.
But I feel you're going to have the same result. And now if I got to go the side of it, I want it up in the sail kind of facing me. Okay. Spit it out, Dean. Hey, sometimes you got to think. It's tough. What do you guys think about the Kenwood DPX 593 or the 793? Good for SQ or better options? So if those are the Exelons, okay. So what are we thinking SQ?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, they're a good source unit, but what are we trying to do SQ out of the? Why not just get a good DSP? You have a source unit, you have a DSP. Go to the DSP. If you want the best sounding Kenwood they make, well, that's going to be the RX. So you got the 993, or sorry, the 996. The 9906. You could probably pick up a 995 if you don't want wireless CarPlay for a pretty reasonable price.
Right.
And you'll still get that awesome. Look who it is, Havoc joined.
What's up, man?
Aaron's new company, soon to be competitor. Hello, gents.
Soon to be competitor.
The tweeter's definitely not
We're
bright.
not friends anymore, man.
That's the thing with Morel. The tweeters are not going to be bright.
No, not at all.
It's a very musical tweeter. So if
mellow tweeter,
very mellow. If you're playing like techno and rap and the high energy type stuff, you might want to swap that tweeter out for like a Focal. You can still keep the mid range and everything, but if you want that bright tweeter, pick up a set of Focals, tweeters, drop them in there, boom. There you go. That'll just like it'll split your hairs. Just gonna want to make sure you have an amp just for the tweeters though, so you can control them. Just bought the Morel 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
All right, so it's not So they're not that old. They should be broken in by now.
I'm planning on getting a DSP.
DSPs are
fun.
Bought them after I saw your review. We love them. I've always said the Morel is a soft speaker. It has. There's certain music that they're good for, and certain music that they're okay for. Just like everything else. Every speaker has something it excels at. There's no perfect speaker out there. The nice thing about the Morel is that for most music, it's going to be a very natural sounding speaker because it has the big voice coils and you have the big mid range. It's very realistic sounding, but most people don't live in color.
Yeah, so he said, I'm planning on getting a DSP, but does the source
unit matter?
Yeah. If you get a good source.
So from that perspective, you're yes and no. So like if you get the higher end Kenwood, it has the better audio grade components in it, so you get a better output to the DSP. But you almost are splitting hairs, okay? Because remember, this is car audio. So how much? There's a reason why things like there's a $5,000 DSP, and why there's a $1,000 DSP, and why there's $300 DSP. Right. Not everything is practical for everybody. The 5.9, all those. Jeez, I'm having a rough time today. Kenwoods. All those Kenwoods are really nice sounding Kenwoods.
Definitely.
I like them. I was a fan of the 2 Series for God's sakes. So you'll be fine going to the DSP. Plus, you don't know what you're going to end up with the DSP. You might buy a DSP that has like a Tosh-Link input.
Just
and
don't buy.
You buy a high-res player and just go into the DSP that way. There's a lot of different things you can do.
Or if you actually want to use the source unit as a source, just don't buy those crappy radios. Try to get like a decent radio so you get a good signal from there.
I don't think any of the Morels are bright.
No,
it's not what they're. It's not their thing, man. They're not. It's not. It's a very natural sounding speaker. So it's you play a female, you play a piano, you just get this really realistic sound. It's
totally different sound, and that's the reason. When we installed the Morels, they sound amazing, but it's not the speaker for me. I want it bright. I want it loud, and. It's just like
not necessarily loud. Amazing. You want it very bright and sharp.
Yes,
loudness.
Exactly.
They have no problem getting loud. They get very loud, but they just don't. They're not breaking glass.
What's that, Steve?
Using the Helix DSP, running active setup, but the highs feel dull. Yeah, they might.
Steve me.
Can't always blame
what's
the DSP. Blame
The
tuner
tuner.
80% of the time. Most don't know how to use them.
That's right.
Oh no, that's a total. That's a total for sure. As
Oh,
far
yeah.
as
Hey man,
Yeah.
now that you're here, I was about to ask you if you guys release the
it's in the drawer.
Hang on. I have it.
No, the tune is definitely the hardest part for sure. And if you're not using an RTA to tune it, and you can't physically see what's coming out, you don't know how. I mean, you can't fix it.
The IMSG.
Oh, you want to know if the
Yes.
IMSG, the
They
new
are-
one is out?
Yes.
You're gonna pop your bank account, or you're gonna pull.
I'm
the
gonna
car-
pop
you're gonna-
Dean's
you're gonna
account.
you're gonna pull the card out of my wallet.
Yeah.
Loud is definitely not the problem. It just feels held back. Where do you have the crossovers? So so that's the other thing too, is a lot of people get the crossovers on the Morel totally wrong. So I would
Okay.
strongly recommend going to their website, pulling up the tweeter, and seeing where the FS is on it, and double it and put it at 24 dB and see what that looks like. He said soon.
Okay. Okay. Cool,
If
man.
using a DSP on a three-way passive set, do you set amp on all pass or still need the low end cutoff? You still need the low end cutoff. Remember, as we said at the front of the show, you need that bottom for the mid-range. The three-way passive crossover is going to provide a bottom for the tweeter, a top for the mid-range, a bottom for the mid-range, a top for the mid-bass, but nothing for the bottom of the mid-bass. Exactly what he said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crossover talk.
Yeah. It's bottom top. Yeah. Crazy.
Light, it was dark, it was light, it was dark. Go Ron Williams. Yes, is that it? We good?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. So,
You know what?
what do you?
Grab the crossovers out of the Morel 603 and Tech, and not the bottom ones, out of the Virtus carbons. The flying saucers. Big shout out, Steve Bead.
Shut up.
All right, so here is a set of Virtus crossovers. Let me go ahead and set this down, and I will flip the phone. Flipping. All right, so here's what a three-way crossover looks like. You have your amp input is here, and then your woofer output there, tweeter, mid. So the tweeter is going to be able to play all the high frequencies and up. The mid is going to stop at where the crossover point for the tweeter is, and it is going to stop at where the crossover point is for the mid bass. So if I was to draw that, you got a pen? We got a pen. We got a pen. All right, hang on. Sorry. So if I was to draw that, you got it? All right. So the crossover is actually backwards to the way the scale goes. But if you've ever seen a crossover at like a, hold on, let's do this big. Like one of those old school ones. This is the tweeter, this is the mid, and this is the mid bass.
All right, man. See you, Jason. He's
Okay.
busy. He's busy.
I know, busy as this.
Everybody's busy.
So the tweeter is going to naturally roll off just on the limitations of the tweeter. So it can only play up so high, plus your amplifier is only going to play up so high. So that is going to naturally just roll off and go away. So somewhere out here, the tweeter is just going to disappear. But the mid is going to keep playing all the way down. Now, you're going to have another crossover that comes in here, right here, which is going to be your subwoofer crossover. So if we go to the big piece of paper, we have this, which is sub. We have this, this, and this. I got carried away.
Okay.
Sub, mid bass, mid range, tweeter. So sub, mid bass, mid, tweeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this guy right here is what is not provided by this. So you're going to do both of these with either an amp or a radio. This is going to be all done here. And then depending on the type of crossover, you're going to have a 6, 12, 18, 24 dB style crossover point. And then the phasing and everything will be done through the passive crossover network. And then on these particular crossovers, you can adjust the tweeter attenuation here. So this has a 0, a -2, or a +2. So you may want to set it to +2 just to see if that livens up the situation a little bit for you. Now, if you're using a DSP, the volume, like if you go full active, your volume typically looks like this, to where you have your sub volume here, you have your mid bass volume here, your mid range is going to be a little quieter, and your tweeter, as far as power goes, it's going to look like this on a power chart. The tweeters, believe it or not, even though they say 200 watts, they're really only seeing between 5 to 2 watts, just the way sound works. And then obviously it goes up from there. So yay, that's how that works. And if you don't believe me on the wattage thing,
don't believe me, just what?
You really think that something that's got a wire that's that small can handle 250 watts? Okay, enough of that.
Yeah,
I just believe it's set to -2. Then definitely put it at 0, because the Morels, we always run at 0.
0.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to try it at +2 if you feel you want to try a little bit more life to it, but you definitely want to have it at 0.
Yeah.
Fun. All right, so that was crossover talk. I know you guys are. When we broadcast this, it's like I feel that the guys that don't watch this or complain about it, they miss out on tons of cool information.
And sometimes they don't want to watch it because
this aspect ratio sucks. Sucks. Yeah. I know.
And I get it. Yeah, it's bad, but
sucks. Instagram.
It's not about the video. It's about the information.
Instagram needs to fix that. I hate it. All right, guys, listen. It's Friday. It's fun. You guys go out tonight. You have a good time. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock-ish. Oh, Jason's back. It's hot today, Jason. So
yeah,
definitely want to check that out.
Don't forget tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, if not earlier. If we can go early, I want to go earlier because I want to get the heck out of here. It's Saturday. But it's better than nothing. Most won't help for free.
Yeah.
I know, but it's just this aspect ratio. It sucks. 45 here.
Oof.
Not here.
Nah.
Not here.
Nope.
Got shorts on. Always shorts. And those funky shoes. Look at the funky shoes. I can't even find the shoes. I can't find my shoes. They're attached to my toes. Woo, look at those. Yay. Okay. All right, now we're getting goofy. All right, guys, listen. You have a wonderful day. Have fun tonight.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yep, that. It makes sense to exchange my Moscone D2 and with the odds. Ooh, I don't know. And add rear fill. I mean, I would add rear fill, but that's a tough one. All right. Oh, 100 by 4. I mean, the Forza is nice. Okay, so I don't have enough time to get into that. All right, man, I'm sorry. Tomorrow. Ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see ya. Bye.